Another episode of our show. I'm AK Alex.
And I'm Bazooka Bruno. And we're the Bruno and Big Mouth. I stole your thunder there.
Yeah, fuck you, Bruno.
No, I made this show.
I'm leaving.
I'm above you. Okay. What?
Okay.
We have very clear roles here.
Leaving, guys.
You're just the lackey, okay?
So,
I'm really just the man in charge here.
I'm hurt.
Okay. I'm glad.
I don't like this anymore. I don't like this arrangement.
I'm taking 90% of your pay anyway, so who cares?
Bruno, you don't need to reveal all the personal details to the audience.
That's what they're there for. Me. They're there to feed off of your misery. Anyway.
I don't want them to think I'm weak.
You are weak. And, are you excited to talk about the movie I made you watch?
Excited is definitely a word I wouldn't use to describe how I feel.
Yeah, if y'all liked that Machine Gun Kelly discussion we had 2 weeks ago, you're gonna love this episode.
I'm sure you guys loved it. Love Machine Gun Kelly.
So I made Drake watch the feature film by Machine Gun Kelly. Called Downfalls High, based off of
a film. Definitely a film.
His directorial debut. Based off of his #1 album, Tickets to My Downfall. And just a quick summary of that album, in case you didn't watch our third episode. He made a pop punk album.
Or in case you didn't listen to his most beautiful album of the decade.
It's
probably
really
the best album of the decade, and the decade's just started.
He made a pop punk album that's like a fusion of pop punk and trap beats and shitty R&B, and the compression is really bad. The production is really bad. It's super derivative of Blink-182.
Blink-182 song. It's real bad.
Yeah, and his vocals are bad on the album. Sounds like he's choking on gravel. He can't sing, can't make a likable vocal melody at all. And then he decided to double down on that project by making a feature film out of it, starring Lil Huddy, who is a TikTok star.
I don't like how you keep calling this a film. It's not a film.
He's the one put it into film territory, really. It's his fault. He opened it up to a whole new window of criticism here.
It's literally just a music video with the worst shit piss poor acting I've ever seen. It's not a film.
Yeah, what's that one line where he's talking to Sydney Sweeney and he's like, do you like helicopters? And she's like, I fucking hate helicopters. And he's like, same.
Bonding.
Same.
Remember that scene when she was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then Lil Huddy was like, dead.
Dead.
It's
so edgy.
Oh, God.
So,
before we get too involved in the movie, let's give a quick rundown, whatever the fuck the plot is.
Yeah. So, the plot is Machine Gun Kelly and guy and girl fall in love, and then he chops ear off.
Yeah.
And music videos.
Guy is played by Lil Huddy, and girl is played by Cassie from Euphoria. And they both do a bad job.
Yeah, I mean,
both
I think
not good.
I think she was pretty good on Euphoria, but Machine Gun Kelly obviously isn't. I mean, this goes without saying, but he's not an actor's director. Okay, no. That's not his style of directing.
He's not a director. Why are we still giving him credit? He's not a person. He's barely a human.
He's he's the cringest personality of the last year or so. I think. Like, he thinks he's so cool with this project. Like, the way he shoots the music video sequences with his outfits and the lighting and the pseudo fancy camera movements and like the production design and everything. He clearly thinks that this is way more profound than it really is. Like, especially with the opening scene.
He thinks he's really making an emotional impact on the lives of teenagers.
Like the opening scene when they're in the hospital with the pink gowns and and Lil Huddy is being pushed in a wheelchair with a bandage on his ear because he's Van Gogh for some reason. And then they get into the loud part. Oh,
he's an artist,
Yeah.
Artists cut off their ears.
His character in this is just an extension of his TikTok career.
I love TED Talk.
TED Talk, TikTok. So anyway, they're in the hospital and the first song off Machine Gun Kelly's album is playing. And it's a music video. It's a music video, and then that song ends, and it's just another music video, but they're in a high school.
Yeah, and then that song ends, and then the popular girl Cassie looks up at Lil Huddy, and then they're playing. In love.
They're playing like Spin the Bottle with a knife because they're edgy.
Let's play Spin the Knife, bro.
She's like, the knife lands on
you,
him.
You get stabbed.
That's what I'd like to do to all these people in this movie. One thing I think I should say is that people are really mean to Lil Huddy for no reason, even though they dress him up like a popular kid. Like, all these bully characters are just
Lil
like
Huddy
punching him in the face.
Kid. Like, there's no way anyone would be bullying Lil Huddy.
They just like punch him in the face and say "fuck you" and then walk away for no reason.
That's what bullying is, by the way.
Yeah,
they just
there's no nuance to it. It's just like "fuck you."
There's no like "cut your hair, you emo bitch." Like, they couldn't throw in one of those lines. I want to see Lil Huddy in pain.
Yeah,
like, your
I think
don't look that good. Like, that would have killed him.
Yeah, he would. He'd definitely cut his ear off after that.
True. Good point.
I mean, Machine Gun Kelly looks like the kind of guy that would bully people in high school anyway, so I'm surprised he didn't know how to write the bullies in this movie.
He's lonely.
He's lonely! Lonely!
Yeah, he's very lonely. So Cassie and Lil Huddy fall in love. What happens after that, Bruno?
Yeah, they fall in love. I'm making air quotes right now. They fall in love.
Yeah, they're in love now.
It's just
also,
like Machine Gun
Kelly. There was no development. They noticed each other, and then they were immediately dating and hanging out all the time.
Yeah, and then she fucking, like, gets pregnant and dies.
yeah. The plot literally goes like, they're dating, they have sex one time, she gets pregnant, she doesn't tell him, and then she gets hit by a car and dies.
Yeah, he clearly was just like, this doesn't have enough conflict. Let's just have her get pregnant and die for no reason.
And that's her entire storyline.
Yeah, it feels like they're, like, dating for 3 days before that happens. It's so underdeveloped.
Well,
it's crazy.
They probably were only banging for 3 days, because after she dies, Lil Huddy seems to be completely unaffected. In fact, his response is to become a famous musician.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not the typical response to grief, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, there's lines of dialogue where his bandmates or whatever are saying, like, oh, he visits her grave every night. But you don't see that through Lil Huddy's performance at all. He just has, like, a wooden face the entire time. And I honestly don't blame Lil Huddy for his performance in this. I don't think he thought that he could act. I think he just, like, answered the phone and it was Machine Gun Kelly, like, yo, you want to be in the movie? And he was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's, like, I don't think it's his fault. I blame MGK for this,
I
100%.
mean, of course it's MGK's fault, but Lil Huddy is just easy to make fun of. It's just low hanging fruit, you know. You got to
Yeah.
take it when you can.
So let's talk about this band that he makes.
Oh,
Uh,
where they just cover Machine Gun Kelly songs?
yeah, it's just a Machine Gun Kelly song band.
Yeah,
And
they're
there's
just
this
playing songs
awesome
from Ticket to
scene.
My Downfall. It's terrible.
And there's this awesome scene where they're playing a weird show in like a pizzeria or something. And the ADR is so bad, they cut back to these two girls talking, and it's like they can hear each other just fine, even though there's a loud band playing right in front of them. Like it's like a quiet room. They forget to edit the sound in to have the band playing. It's really embarrassing.
Yeah, this movie's just absolutely pitiful. It fails in every aspect.
And that reminds me of like some of the like I have a problem with every second of this movie, but I have problems with the way the music video sections are set up
Yeah,
because they're like I feel like if you put energy into one music video, you can make it look pretty good, right? But this is just an entire like a long music video for his album. So a lot of them are pretty lazy and weird looking, and they add like there's one where they just add like low res footage of them chilling out on the set of the video in between shots
dude,
of them like
we're in the
energetically rocking out.
90s. We're in the 90s, bro. We were shooting on VHS, even though this takes place in the 2020s. Vintage.
And that really bothered me because it's like, okay, they're rocking out and it's all cool, and then it's just like, oh, they're sitting down and looking at each other.
Yeah.
But that makes me think of another thing where the movie is constantly switching to a low res 4:3 aspect ratio. In between the widescreen aspect ratio, it's constantly changing.
Just like one cut to the next, the aspect ratio will change. It's never consistent.
It's like Transformers 5 or some shit. It's crazy.
It's art.
It's so jarring.
This is an art film.
He has
film
no
is
idea
art.
how to make a movie.
I don't think he has any idea on how to make anything.
Yeah, he should just go. Just continue living, but not
Got him.
continue his career.
Yeah, get wrecked, Machine Gun Kelly. Keep having your career, asshole.
What else is there to say? Let's just talk about the ending real quick.
Oh.
So
He notices this one girl stole fucking car crash baby mama's purse. So he's like, give it back. And then she does. And then this really upsets him. So he cuts off his ear at the high school talent show or some shit. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. The last half of the movie, I really wasn't there.
I just had no idea what made him like. I don't know why he would Van Gogh himself at that point. Like, yeah, his girlfriend died like 10 minutes into the movie, and then he just did other stuff for the last half hour, and then he just kind of cut his ear off. There's nothing that made
Travis,
it feel like a breaking point or anything.
You don't understand. He was upset.
Yeah, he's upset. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, do you get it?
Yeah, but why didn't he do it like right after Cassie died? I don't know.
Yeah. He was not upset enough yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to see the girl steal her purse. And he's like, oh boy, no one's respecting her.
Oh, I just remembered that thing about the purse.
Yeah.
Where this random girl is just carrying Cassie's purse. And he's like, yo, is that Cassie's purse? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, fuck that.
And then he just
takes it back.
Yeah. There was zero struggle. Like, anytime the movie could have conflict, why did I call it a movie? Stupid. I'm a fucking idiot. It's not a movie, Drake.
It's not a film.
Not a film, not a movie, not a music video. It's dirt. Anyway,
There,
I lost my point.
yeah, this
I
whole thing
really
melted
don't
my
like
brain. Like, really,
it.
it's
Yeah.
not. It's
I
toxic. There's
yeah, I can't
a
believe he created something that's worse than the album, but here we go.
watching this movie like really emphasized the badness of the music also.
Yeah,
Like
seeing it
I
paired with visuals.
yeah, it made it sound worse to me, which I didn't think was possible, honestly.
Yeah, you
Like
know,
especially the whole like forget me too bit. Like where he has like the really staggered vocals where he's like, I'm trying to forget you and then
yeah.
he's so fucking staggered and weird and there's like I don't know, it
He's just
really
the
made me
cringiest
think
guy.
about yeah, it really made me think about how derivative to Blink 182 My Bloody Valentine is. Or like just Bloody Valentine. I don't know what it's called.
Why did Travis Barker get on this album? Why did he get in this movie?
Why did he get all up in that album?
Why did he enlist his son to also act in this movie?
Oh yeah, he is basically Travis Barker.
Yeah,
Voice crack.
it
um, there's
it
that one
happens
line where
to
he's
all young boys.
there's that one line where he's like playing the Machine Gun Kelly song, and then afterwards he's like, "Damn, dude, I'm better than Travis Barker." Oh,
I
get
get
it?
it because
Because I'm his
that's my
son.
dad. That's my dad, and I'm not better than him because I was
Okay,
literally
there's like
just covering his song, literally just playing the exact same thing as him.
and his son acts like a total douche in this movie. They all act like douches. Every single person in the movie. But I can just tell his son is like a total douche in real life, just based on how
Well,
he acts in this movie.
well, they all act like douches because Machine Gun Kelly's directing style is probably just like act like me. Just do what you think I would do in this moment, and then they
Monkey see,
completely
monkey
succeeded
do.
if they're aiming for that, you know.
Totally. Okay, let's wrap this up soon, but there's just a couple funny things I wanted to bring up.
What are the
Um,
funnies? Give them to me.
I just lost my fucking train of thought. Okay, so the ending, I thought it looked really bad because there's like one thing that peeves me in movies is when there's supposed to be a room that's filled with extras and then like there's two people on a stage and then they shoot the two people on a stage and don't show the rest of the room. So it's just not believable. Like it looks like those two people showed up on a different day and they're
Well,
the only two people in the room. And that's
don't you
like what
know
it
they
looks
always
like when
hold
he was cutting his ear
a
off.
late they hold a late graduation for all the punks so that they can cut off their ears and shit, you know?
All the MGK fans go to the late graduation,
Yeah,
the
they have to
after
segregate the
graduation.
MGK fans from the rest of the normal population.
I think we should segregate all the MGK fans.
Um, I would agree.
Haha.
Yeah,
Anyway, I just thought that shot looked really bad when it's just the two of them on the stage. Clearly, the extras weren't in the room after that point. Like, I don't know. It just looked really bad. Like, I don't know. The movie I'm thinking of ending things did a really good job of what I'm talking about. How there's that scene of in the auditorium at the end. And
oh
it's
yeah, when
like,
they're doing like the play.
yeah, and each time they get a shot of the stage, they make sure to show at least 4 rows of extras. So you can tell they did it with everyone there in one day. But I don't
Yeah,
know. That's just like a pet
and
peeve
like
of mine.
especially for this movie, it wouldn't even be that hard. It wouldn't. It's not like any of them have to
Yeah.
act. It's like
Like
it's
it
not
was
like there's
clearly only
acting
the
going on in
dean.
this movie.
No one's acting. They're just saying
Yeah,
things.
well, literally, you don't. They could just be shitting on the fucking chairs, and it would be a better performance than anyone gave in this movie. It'd be more
I
believable.
agree. Call me
Yeah,
Anthony
facts.
Fantano because I agree.
Yeah, I'm giving that opinion a strong 9.
Not good.
All right,
Anyway,
I don't have anything
I
more
had
to say
another.
about this fucking piece of
Yeah,
shit.
I had another
You got
thing, but
more?
I fucking forgot. No, I
Yeah,
forgot.
what is
It's
it?
okay.
Oh, goodbye. Goodbye,
Goodbye.
thought. And there goes the
Okay,
thought.
so
Poof.
let's go on to our next segment. We're gonna talk about some new music.
Wow,
Drake.
what a banger of a song.
New music. But wait, it's Fred
who's
Durst.
doing
It's not
that
me.
voice there? Yeah, who's doing that voice there?
It's not me. It's Fred Durst.
Yeah,
It definitely was not me.
Yeah, you do a really good Fred Durst impression, by the way. Like, completely unrelated.
I mean, I would be able to do that song, but I didn't. It's Fred Durst.
Yeah.
Anyway. Drake...
So what's the new music, dog?
Drake, I'm just like... I'm really grateful that we're never going to have to talk about Machine Gun Kelly again. All
right. So the first song we listened to was Daywalker.
Wait, what's the first song?
Machine Gun Kelly and Corpse Husband.
Wait, what? Fuck.
Yeah. There's
God
another
damn
one. He will never leave our life. I think this should just become a Machine Gun Kelly podcast.
Yeah, it is a Machine Gun Kelly podcast. Wait, what's this fucking song called? Is it Daywalker? Is that it?
Daywalker. Yeah, like a ginger without freckles. I'm sorry, that was prejudiced. I have nothing against the gingers. Only the Machine Gun Kelly fans.
Okay, so this song... I don't know, this is just a classic example of Machine Gun Kelly trying to do something out of his element and, like, I don't know, just half-assing it or not doing it very well. He's trying to go for, like, an edgy, industrial hip-hop vibe. He even has Corpse Husband doing screaming vocals.
Yeah.
And doing his classic edgy thing.
Machine Gun Kelly wanted to be Blink-182. He failed. Machine Gun Kelly wanted to be the fucking Kubrick. He failed. Machine Gun Kelly wants to be Ghost Main. He failed. What else will he fail at next? Find out next week.
Oh my god. If anything, I don't blame Corpse Husband for this song at all. If anything, I would listen to the song if it was only him. And that's not even because of my intense bias against Machine Gun Kelly. It's just because...
This is just going to abuse, like, his popularity as well. Makes complete sense.
A little bit. And that's not even because of my bias against Machine Gun Kelly. It's just because his parts really do not sound good.
No, just bad.
At all. His lyrics are so bad and awkward. Like, there's that one line that's just like, I see you talking with a mouth that's full of teeth I'm gonna break. And it's like, what the fuck? Who says that?
I wanna punch you in the face.
Fight! Like, it's like I said, like, Corpse's screaming vocals and his edgy, like, deep vocals are the only thing that make this song somewhat tolerable.
You can really tell because they do the same little refrain where they whisper. And they're like, if I tell you a secret, would you keep it? And, you hear Machine Gun Kelly do it, and you're like, that was pretty bad. And you hear Corpse do it, and you're like, oh, I guess it should have sounded more like that. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It makes me wonder if, like, I don't know, if Machine Gun Kelly was more in charge of the creative side of this song, or if Corpse took the reins for the most part. Because, like, I don't know, it seems like something Corpse would just do. Shut up. This is a Jesus-free podcast. Just kidding.
My bad. I always bring him in here.
Anyway, 3 out of 10. Actually, no. I might be being too harsh. I would probably give it a 5 because I would think it was decent if Machine Gun Kelly wasn't in it.
It's a 4 out of 10.
Yeah. So
left a sour taste in my mouth.
Big Mouth. Haha, got him. Okay, so the next song is Rob Zombie, The Eternal Struggle of the Howling Man. And what did you think of that song?
I thought it was okay. I mean, I wasn't too impressed. I'm not that huge, not that big of a Rob Zombie fan in the first place. and this sounded
Yeah.
just kind of like a boring version of other songs I've heard by him. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't say he did anything bad. He just didn't do anything notable.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with what you're saying. I don't love him. I don't hate him. It's just Rob Zombie as usual. If anything,
Yeah.
this song went places that I wasn't expecting it to go. Like, there's that whole funk section in the middle, and then it sort of changes time signature at the end.
And I liked when he howled. I liked it when he made Wolfman noises. I like that.
Yeah, and the guitar playing is so cool. I love his guitar player.
Yeah. I just like how you said that.
Yeah, he's awesome. Have you heard John 5's music? Like, he's the best part of Rob Zombie's band. By far.
I've heard his shit with like Marilyn Manson, right? He played with him.
Yeah, he's the old guitar player. Then they had beef, and he left.
Yeah, but I've seen some Instagram videos of John 5, but other than that, I'm not that close of a follower.
Yeah, he's a sick guitar player. I love all of the tones he adds towards the end when they change it to like a 3/4 time signature, and he's just absolutely wailing a guitar solo, and there's so many layers.
The guitar is definitely like the driving force behind the song. It's definitely the best part. But I don't know, I felt like a lot of the grooves they were working with, I just didn't find that interesting.
Yeah, a lot of
I found myself having the compulsion to like skip ahead in the song so I could get to the more interesting parts.
Yeah, the verses were really, really just narrow and surface level.
Yeah. And like the verses were most of the song.
Yeah, there's a lot of cock rock riffs.
Yeah, and then they intrigue me, and then they do nothing with it, and then I just be disappointed. Like, I don't know.
That's how
it's like this is like a cock tease of a song.
Yeah, I give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd probably give it like a 5.
Yeah, it's closer to a 5 for me.
So a light 6.
Yeah, a light to decent 6, and I don't know. I was trying to do the Anthony Pantano outro, but I forgot what he says.
I'm Bruthany Boostano.
Bruno the Big Mouth Tano here. Anyway, fuck it. So, one thing you should know is this is the first week where Drake actually helped me pick out the songs, because he has a lot more of a variety of music on his radar than I do. So this next song is one that he picked. Did you want to give an intro for it?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't tell you the order. Never mind. Fuck it. It's Brockhampton.
Yeah, I don't know the order, but I was just going to guess.
It's a Brockhampton buzz cut featuring Danny Brown.
Yes, Brockhampton. A hip-hop collective group, the first formed in I think 2017. Yes, 2017. And they have a lot of fucking members. And they released 3 really great albums called the Saturation Trilogy. But then one of their most notable members, Amir Vaughn, got accused of being a sexual predator. So they kicked him out of the group. And they haven't really recovered since then. But I think this song shows like a nice return to form for them. And
yeah, I really enjoyed it.
It was pretty decent.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I love the beat. I love the semi-psychedelic samples that they add. It gives the beat a lot of depth.
I think the beats really like what emphasize the change back to their old ways in a way. I mean, they're still doing like new shit. I don't want them just to be like completely their old ways again, but a lot of their newer albums were like a lot more like mellow trap beats. Well, I feel like this song had like that hyper energy they had on their first couple albums.
Yeah, the vocal delivery does a lot to help the energy of the song.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, get the fuck out my ride!
Their guest verse by Danny Brown is really, really good. Danny Brown just always brings great energy to any song he's in.
I couldn't tell which one was him.
Nasal voice.
Yeah, I couldn't tell which one was him because I'm not familiar with Brockhampton at all. So, but I liked all of the vocals.
Yeah, he wasn't the one that sang. I can tell you that.
Damn.
That guy was a white man named Joba.
Joba. Joe
Joba.
Biden? Huh? Where am I? Kamala!
I listen to Brockhampton and Scranton. Yeah.
But I'd give this song like a 7.
Yeah, this one's a 7 for me.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful for new music they release, and I hope it still keeps this kind of energy.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So, moving on. This next song is by a really, really good alternative pop rock group called Everything Everything. And they have a sick new single called Supernormal. And I thought that I had struck gold and found the best track of the week with this one. But then Drake suggested another one that I liked more. But this one is still really good.
No, I thought this track was an absolute banger. It brought me back to like the mid-2000s, but with some modern vibes. Real good.
Yeah, it's so good. I love this is kind of the first thing they've done in a while that has like a full band involved. Everything else I've heard
what were they doing before?
Everything else is sort of just like synth paired with like programmed beats. But this is like, it sounds like much more various in terms of the instruments they use. Like they have a drummer and it sounds really awesome. They have guitars. And I loved the energy that the drums brought to the track. It seems like, I don't know, I described this in my notes as like if Coldplay did a lot of crystal meth and made a song with Queens of the Stone Age. That's what it sounds like to me.
I see where you're coming from there. I feel like that's a pretty apt description.
It kind of sounds like a pop version of a Queens of the Stone Age song, like with the energy of the vocals and the guitar riffs.
No, especially, like his vocal delivery and just his voice. It's like got this like manic energy to the song. Yeah,
I love it's really Sonic, gotta go fast. But it's really sonically cool in terms of like the electronic sounds as well. There's a lot of really heavy synth wubs. And I love the juxtaposition with the heavy synth and the sort of falsetto vocal style that he uses. He has a really good vocal range.
I was going to mention that as well. Like every chorus would go into like these deep sludgy synths, but then he'd just have his like nice pretty falsetto voice on. And they really contrasted well.
Yeah. I think this is a really solid track. I'd probably give it like a strong 8.
I will also give it an 8. It is an 8 out of 10 song.
So, did you want to introduce the best song of the week? I had no idea about anything about it, and I want to hear you talking about it.
The best song of the week for both me and Bruno was Quedeca's song, Sisyphus. I haven't really listened to Quedeca much before this, but I know he is a YouTube rapper. And when you hear YouTube rap, you don't usually think good things. You think Jake Paul. It's everyday, bro. And let me just say, this is many a step up from It's Everyday, Bro. This is a very, very beautiful song. Very eclectic. And I just thought, I don't know, I was very impressed with it. Very, very impressed.
I was also very impressed. I was kind of blown away by it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to think at first, but it's just so sonically beautiful. And it
starts off
blends
with like
so many different styles.
Like, singing R&B like intro. And then it transitions into like sludgy emo rap. And then it goes back to R&B.
Yeah. And
then it has like random like full orchestral segments.
There's these experimental glitchy synths going on. And there's these like industrial impacts during the rap verse, like boom, 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 and it's so fucking heavy.
And he like raps to it as well, so it really emphasizes it.
Yeah, it's like the perfect mix of like heavy, sludgy stuff and just like melodically beautiful orchestral sections. It's just a really amazing song. Like I I didn't know what to think about it, honestly. It's
I
just
also
great.
I really like the lyrics too, because they were clearly edgy, but I feel like they never went cringy with it. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
he wrote that line very, very well, where it seemed very self-aware of his own edge, but still admitting those parts of himself, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I loved. I wasn't expecting the drums to come in at the end for such an epic finale.
Oh yeah, the
That
end
was
of this
awesome.
song is just overwhelmingly beautiful.
And even after the last impact rings out, they have that experimental glitchy synth at the end, and it kind of recontextualizes everything in the song. I love when artists do that.
Yeah,
It's
just
just a tidbit at the end that makes it like the entire thing seem different in your eyes. I don't know.
yeah.
It's just sick.
No, I listened to this song like a bunch of times afterwards, and each time I got like a more full experience from it. I was paying
Yeah,
attention
it's
to
so
different
good.
parts. It just has
Yeah,
so many layers and it's so textured.
yeah, I would give it like a 10.
Yeah, I'd give it a 10. I hope whatever the other songs on the album are like this one. I hope they are good songs.
There's going to be a full length?
Yeah, he's working on one.
Fuck, I'm so down for that.
I'm so
I would
down for
actually
you.
listen to that.
Huh?
I said I would actually listen to that.
I'll let you know when it comes out then, big boy. It'll be
Yeah?
on my radar. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever you need.
Yeah? Uh,
And that's it for new music, everyone. Would you,
thank you. Bye-bye
would
now.
you like,
That's,
no, we're not done yet. Bruno, stop it. You're upsetting the fans.
did you want to get into our album discussion?
Yeah. Let's
Hold
talk
on, let
about
me
the
get
album.
some,
So,
I'm gonna
huh?
lean over to get some sparkling water. Hold on.
Oh, do, do you want me to introduce the album?
Yeah, you're good, go
Hello?
ahead. Yeah.
You want me to introduce it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So,
Just do it!
this I'm doing it. This past week, I had Bruno listen to Spiderland by Slint. So, Slint's this Midwestern. I don't even know how to describe them. Post rock band. There's really no other band that sounds like Slint. They're very much their own.
Yeah,
This
I
is their
thought they
only
were kind
album
of
with like
like emo. I thought they were kind of like emo mixed with post rock almost.
yeah, but even then, I feel like there's so much more. I don't know. This album's
Yeah,
just means a lot to me. And this is their only album with like actual lyrics in it. Otherwise, they're just a full instrumental band. I don't know. It's just one of my favorite albums of all time. One of the greats. What do
yeah.
you think, Bruno?
I'd like to hear you talk a little bit more about this band because I have no frame of reference in terms of like who the members are or like what their usual style is. I enjoyed the hell out of the record, but I just want you to like I don't know elaborate
Uh,
on just the band in general. I guess.
yeah. Well, the band, as I stated previously, just did instrumentals, and like they've been working with each other for a long time. And all they did was like full instrumental music. And this was the first album they decided to actually sing with lyrics, except for Dinner, which is more akin to their previous work. And
Uh,
this album was so taxing on the singer himself that he actually checked himself into a mental hospital like a couple days after they finished it because it fucked with his head so much.
oh
And then they
fuck.
didn't really release a lot of music after that. He's okay now. Like everyone's still alive. They're good, but like this album's fucking intense. It's a very intense album and very
Yeah,
dark.
I have. Yeah, I think it's like a pretty much just a great album overall. Like I really
Yeah,
enjoyed the sort of combination of math rock and emo and post rock, and it's really my cup of tea overall.
yeah.
I think my favorite track has to be Nosferatu Man, because I loves
really?
me a 5/4 time signature.
Yeah. You're just
Like
a
the grooves
slut
on the
for that
album are
time
really
signature.
infectious.
Oh
What's
yeah.
that?
I feel like every song is can get stuck in my head at any point.
Yeah, like I pretty much had every riff stuck in my head at some point during the day. Like it traded off between like the opening track and Nosferatu Man and like the last song, and then like the
Yeah.
Washer riff. Like it's just the whole album was stuck in my head for days
And like
after
the
my
thing that
first
amazes
listen.
me about this album is like it's only 6 songs long, but it has
Mm-hmm.
more depth than like it's only 6 songs long, but it has more depth than albums that are like twice or triple the amount of songs, you know? It's just crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Um, I really liked the song Washer a lot.
Yeah, Washer's
It's
probably my favorite song on the album.
yeah, it's not my favorite song, but I think it's a really well done slow burn, and then the ending is really gratifying. I love the
Yeah.
riff also. The riff like does such a great job of setting the tone and the
It's
vibe
like
for the
so
song.
beautiful yet ominous, you know, which is the whole vibe of the song. And you just have like these drums just playing slowly, and it sounds like they're just trying to catch up to the guitar and playing these like little fills the entire time. I just
Oh
think
yeah,
it's
the drums
beautiful.
on the whole album is really good.
Yeah. He's a very subtle drummer, but he's really doing a lot to carry the
Yeah,
songs.
I think I don't know, it seemed like the guitar and the drums played really well off of each other. Like
Yeah.
it seems like they did a good job of like, I don't know, whenever the guitar would have like an accent or just like a little, like, I don't know, like a tiny little nuance that he was doing, the
Yeah.
drums would go along
Like
with
playing
him.
like a little lick or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like they've been playing together for a long time, which is what you want to hear in a band. Like the
Well, like
entire album is like
well,
a
the thing
perfect
is, like
marriage.
they have too, you know, like they, especially starting off with only doing like instrumental music, like they really had to learn how to like play off one another and make songs that way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna say like the album sounds like a perfect marriage of all the different instruments. Like they really know how to put one instrument at the forefront when it's doing something more important. Like in the first songs, you don't hear the bass doing that much, but then in songs like Dunham, the bass really comes out to shine, and it's like the main instrument for 6 minutes, and there's no
yeah,
guitar, and the
that
bass
song
is
is
just
creepy
playing
as
this
fuck.
doomy riff. It's awesome.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, it's like doom metal. That's what it sounds like to
Yeah,
me.
and that song's just about someone having
But yeah,
social
if
anxiety
I
at a
had any
party.
complaints about the album, um, I love all the songs, but I don't think they necessarily needed another quiet song in the For Dinner slot.
Yeah,
Excuse
that's
me.
also
That's
my largest problem with the album. I just feel like For Dinner it was kind of an afterthought. I did like how it connected Washer and the last song Good Morning Captain with one another, since they kind of go for different vibes, but I don't know, I just wanted more from that one. But still a
yeah.
good
It's not
song, I'd
even a
say.
complaint with the song itself. It's just the pacing of the album overall. I feel like.
Yeah.
But like I think it's a great song. Like I can still throw that on by itself. I just think like as a front to back experience, I don't know. I still think what is it? Captain's Orders or like Wake Up My
Good
Captain or
Morning
whatever.
Captain.
Yeah, Good Morning Captain. It's like I think that's a great closer, but I would probably
Yeah.
like to have that one after Washer since Washer is such a slow burn and then For Dinner is such a slow burn. Like it seems like
Yeah.
two slow burns in a row.
Yeah. But
Like,
Good
but that's
Morning
not
Captain
like I
was like
said.
the best conclusion they could have done. That song is
Yeah,
so good. The way it
yeah, I
builds
love
up to
that
its
song because
conclusion.
it. Yeah, I love that song because it takes what I love about the first two songs and just does it way better. Like, it has an infectious groove, and it has these eerie guitar parts, and the vocals are really good. And the chorus stuck with me most out in that song than any other chorus.
A quick aside about the vocalist. He often does like spoken word and screaming, but nothing in between. And he actually used 2 different mics throughout the whole recording in order to accomplish that. I just found that interesting.
Yeah, did he have like a different effect on both of the mics?
Yeah, and like set to completely different levels, so his screams would sound like even more gut-wrenching, and his whispers would sound even more creepy.
Yeah. I think that definitely came across in the sound of the vocals on the album.
Oh, definitely. Especially since most of the vocals are like a combination of the 2.
Yeah, his scream during some of the choruses kind of sounded like Nirvana a little bit, but cooler.
I could see the comparison. But like definitely a lot more pain, I say.
Yeah. One thing I also liked was the guitar tone was really purposeful.
Yeah.
I loved how when they're doing parts that have like really pretty harmonics and stuff like that, they have a completely different tone than the heavy sound. Like it's a really big difference between the lowest point and the highest point, which I guess any good guitar player could do. But it's just like the tone was really great overall.
But like this band's so good at like mastering the dynamics of a song, just moving from the quiet parts to the loud parts at like the perfect times. And
and that's kind of
when to switch their effects to do so.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about the song For Dinner was like they made a really good performance out of playing only quiet. And like I've been in a situation where I had to play quiet at like a gig or whatever, and it sucks. Like you don't feel confident. It's way harder to play quiet than it is to play loud. And I think that shows a lot of skill in For Dinner because the whole thing is at like pianissimo. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Like
it's really dope.
They just practiced so much control over the entire album. Sounds like every snare hit and every guitar note played was very purposeful.
Yeah, I'm really glad you showed this to me. I liked the whole thing pretty much.
Oh, hell yeah. Get
hell
slinted.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Spiderland. Get slinted.
The Spider-Man.
Welcome to the Spider-Man.
Are you ready to move on?
Big boy? No, you gotta rate it.
Fuck. I would give it like a 9. Solid.
This album was like a 9.5 out of 10.
Nope, no 0.5. You can't do that. Come
9.75 out of 10.
Fuck. That peeves me when people do that. 10. Just say 10 at that point.
9. No, you can't make me.
Okay, yeah, 9. Unanimous 9.
I had some criticisms about For Dinner, but I thought it was only 0.5 worth of criticism, but apparently someone being a stickler.
Yeah, that's what I am. I'm the stickler.
You can take 90% of my profits and then take 90% of my creativity? Fuck you.
Hey, fuck you, big guy. Anyway, you want to move on to the movie discussion?
Yeah.
You want to get... Yep. I can turn this into hell on earth.
What do you want from me, okay?
What do you want from me?
I'll let you talk about the movie. I'll let you... You can give the background, all right? It's your turn.
Okay, well, Drake made me watch The Nightingale, and we're not going to get into spoilers yet. But this is by the same director.
Jennifer Kent. Yes.
Yeah, who directed The Babadook, which I don't really like that movie. But this movie is a lot better. Okay. I like this movie a lot better for sure. I didn't love it. I definitely I simultaneously liked and didn't like it. And I can get into why I didn't like it later, but I'm
Yeah,
going to start with the positives for sure. Let's just give a spoiler-free review and then get into spoilers
already.
because there's spoiler stuff I want to talk about.
Yes.
So,
So,
you give a synopsis for it, like a quick plot summary.
yeah. So, this movie's about a girl who lives on a British penal colony in Tasmania. She's an Irish woman, and she lives there with her Irish husband and her Irish baby. And the British people hate her. And then they do
Oh,
some fucked up
Ireland!
things to her. Huh? Ireland?
Oh,
Aye.
Ireland! Oh, crap!
We speak Gaelic. Let's stop doing shitty accents. We're gonna piss off
Yeah,
all our Irish audience.
yeah, we don't
I
want to
know
get
we have a
canceled.
huge Irish fan base. Anyway, these British officers, let's just say they do some fucked up things to her and her family, so she sets out for revenge. And I think that's about as far as I can go without spoilers.
Yeah, it's like Kill Bill in the 1800s.
Yeah, basically. Irish Kill Bill in the 1800s.
Which I liked that aspect of it. I enjoyed all the parts where she's out for vengeance. You know, I thought she was a really strong character and she had a really strong motivation.
I definitely thought that the two main characters were the best part of the movie. Just their dynamic and working.
And
with
who
one
would you
another.
say is the second main character? Would it be the guy she's traveling with, or the
when
lieutenant?
When she goes out for revenge, she meets a native Tasmanian that helps her because he also hates the British. I forgot to mention that in my plot synopsis. I would consider him the second main character.
Yeah, and we're gonna get more about him later.
Yeah,
there's some fun stuff about him I want to talk about.
But I thought their characters and their dynamic and their growth was the best part of the movie. But I feel like a lot of the other aspects of the movie caused me not to like the movie as much.
Yeah, I liked their relationship and their dynamic. They definitely changed a lot from when they first started traveling with each other, which I appreciated. They both clearly grew just from knowing each other. And you're going to hear me say a lot of things that I appreciate and a lot of things that I'm just going to basically shit on. But because that's what it is. I simultaneously like and I don't like it.
Yeah. This is simultaneous. This movie simultaneously broke me and made me very depressed, and at the same time made me angry with some of the decisions the director made. I don't know. Yeah. I felt very conflicted the entire time I was watching it.
Yeah, did you want to get into spoilers?
I definitely felt bad. Yeah, I think we should get into spoilers now.
If there's one spoiler-free thing I could say is that the ending is pretty satisfying.
Oh, I
really enjoyed the
ending was very, very good.
Yeah, and there's
despite any bullshit that happened in the middle, the ending was worth it. I feel like this movie's still worth a watch for anyone.
Yeah. So we're going to get into spoilers right now. If you haven't seen The Nightingale by Jennifer Kent, excuse me, it's on Hulu, so you can go
Hulu,
watch it.
Yeah. It's
okay, so
Hulu.
A spoiler we go away now.
Yeah, so this movie's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I mean,
you're gonna watch a couple intense rape scenes and then watch some British guy murder a baby. I mean, come on.
I put in my notes that this was sort of a cross between I Spit on Your Grave and Kill Bill.
Yeah, definitely. All the most fucked up parts from I Spit on Your Grave.
That's basically my main complaint with the movie, is that the rape is a bit too intense. I think they really overdo it with the rape.
Yeah, I feel that way about a lot of rape scenes, you know? It get to a point where it just seems overly gratuitous, where you're kind of making me feel disgust instead of actually earning it.
Yeah.
It's a very touchy subject, but...
Yeah, and I was sort of saying in my notes that, I hope this rape scene is sort of, gonna lead to something a bit more interesting, because like I don't know, I feel like what a lot of movies do is they have their main character get raped, and then that's sort of like their only character development, and that's like the
Yeah.
main thing that they're sort of being conflicted with. And I understand that, like, it's like rape is a horrible thing, and it's something
Yeah,
that
it's one of the most
people
traumatic
carry
things.
with them. But like a lot of
But
movies
people
do
are still
that,
so much more than that.
and I
Like,
think
no one's just defined by one thing.
yeah, and I think this movie basically did what I wanted it to do with the rape, even if it was a bit overkill at a lot
Yeah.
of points in the movie. Like, it clearly um, led Claire. Is that her name, Claire?
I can check real quick.
It's Claire, I remember
Yes,
now.
Claire.
But
Yes.
like, it clearly led Claire to a point where it gave her more character development than just like, oh, I got sexually assaulted or whatever. And like I said before, she's a really strong character for the majority of the movie, and she has a very strong motivation, which is why I think it's entertaining to watch for a good chunk of the film.
Yes.
And
I feel like the director put a lot of thought to like actually developing this character past her most traumatic moment and making her
Yeah.
grow and learn from it, and even grow from things that have nothing to do with her traumatic moment. Just like talking with this Tasmanian guy who she was very extremely racist to, and then realized, wait, we're all getting fucking abused by the British here. And you're a good guy. Like, why am I doing this?
Oh yeah, that's one thing I put in my notes is that like these bitches are racist.
Yeah.
They're like,
No,
there's so much dialogue about like.
I found it very interesting that like you can be like an Irish prisoner, and it's still worse to be a black person.
Yeah, it's awful. Like,
Yeah.
there was a nice moment where they're talking at a campfire, and she's just like, oh, you know, I had my whole family taken away from me. And he's like telling her like his stories of like, oh, the white fella came and killed my entire tribe in front of me, and they have like
like
this
he
sort
has
of
zero
exchange of
family.
yeah,
Like he
and they
doesn't even
sort
have
of
like a homeland.
Yeah, and after that, they have sort of a mutual respect for each other. Like earlier in the movie, like there's these guys that are trying to kill her, and he doesn't even help because he's like, I'm not here to help you. I'm just here to lead you to the place you want to go. And then like after that, they sort of like, they're sort of in it together, and they start helping each other. And that's one of the things that I think the movie did really well.
Yeah, it's like they were bonding through their mutual pain and disgust at how they were treated by the ruling class. That was nice to see. I also appreciated how the movie didn't shy away from the really brutal like parts of this time era. Like there was many scenes of just like dead lynched aboriginals like hanging in trees that were just haunting and heartbreaking and terrifying.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's one thing I think heavily came across is there's like, there's these people hanging out the woods that are just gonna like rape and kill any woman that is walking alone, or like there's just like all these elected officials that are just fucking raping and killing families and burning down houses.
And like clearly corrupt, and everyone knows it and no one gives a fuck.
Yeah, that's what I think. Like, there's this one scene where they're walking through the woods, and there's like a family standing outside of a burning house, and they look at each other, and I think that was trying to imply like, oh, this was some other lieutenant, like this was some other like officer that just got so power hungry, like that he just decided to burn up a house. Shit. Like this happens to everybody. It's more of a societal problem back then that like these officers can do whatever the fuck they want, and like because there's no enforcement on this shit. It's the 1800s. You can just kill anyone and get away with it
on an island that's like thousands of miles away from England.
Yeah,
no one's gonna give a fuck. But To speak more to the villains, that's one aspect I found pretty underwhelming about the movie. I felt like they're all pretty one-dimensional villains.
Oh, the villain sucked. I'm gonna
Yeah, I
say it
feel
right
like
now. The
anytime
villain
they
fucking awful.
and the worst part to me is like it seemed like there was moments where like they could have actually given them depth, and then they're like, no, JK, they're just power-hungry villains. Like the whole like subplot about the main lieutenant guy trying to train the kid,
Oh,
and then he just
I
ends
thought
up.
that was his son.
No, that's just a
Oh,
random
okay.
Irish boy.
Okay. Because when he like, oh my god, when he was like, I thought he was being so fatherly to that kid because he was his son. And then when he kills the fucking kid, I was like, holy shit, he just killed his son. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's not his son.
Okay. But yeah, I
But
thought
like,
like,
I felt like they could have
you're
done something
right.
interesting with that, where like he finds like a connection in this kid because he can mold him to be like himself, and but then they're like, "JK, he's just an evil villain, and anytime someone does anything bad, he will kill them."
Yeah, there's
And
like
it's
no
like, okay,
character to
dude,
this lieutenant character whatsoever. Like, he's
yeah,
clearly just a bad guy. And like, I don't know, there was this one scene where um they find like a black lady, like a native black lady, and like you think that he's gonna let him go. Like there's like a long pause, and then he's just like, no, tie her up, and then they fucking rape her. And it's like, come
yeah,
on. Like, you can at least try to add some nuance instead of just making them full monster with no
yeah.
explanation.
And honestly, that didn't
Like,
even make sense with his character at the time, because like his character was so obsessed in like getting to that port so he could get his promotion. Like, do you think he'd really waste the time to fucking kidnap this woman? Like, it doesn't even make sense.
yeah, that, and also, I think that was just like I think that's at fault with the writing that, like, I don't know, you can't just have a villain that's just a villain. You need to
Yeah,
have, like, an interesting villain. Like, if they tried to, like, all I'm asking for is just like some backstory that would explain why he's so angry at the world, or like maybe some
yeah.
motivation for him
Or like
trying to do some of
just
the
any
awful things he's
character
doing.
history. Like, if you want to make him a sociopath, make me believe the environment made him a sociopath. Like you can't just say he is one.
Yeah,
Like, it's not
exactly.
earned.
No, yeah, that entire like attempt, I don't know. It's just not good. That's the
Not
part
good.
that pissed me off most about the movie.
But you know what is good?
What?
Billy.
Oh yeah,
Billy.
Billy's
Billy
good.
is good. He's probably
Native black guy.
as I've said it before, the dynamic between Billy and Claire was my favorite part of the movie, and just
Yeah.
I don't know, watching Billy change not only his views towards Claire, but towards like I don't know the Irish population and certain subsections of white people in general. That's very interesting to me because this is a guy who's been nothing but like attacked and genocided by all these British people, but he can still find some solace in this Irish girl.
Oh yeah. It's sort of like a it's like I said before, they really come to understand each other. And like I think Claire uh or no, more so that Billy is sort of like a vehicle for Claire to evolve in a
Yeah,
different way
and also just
throughout the
like I
film.
feel like Billy gave her like a new appreciation for life because he was a silly boy when he was pretending to be like birds and shit.
Yeah. He's a silly boy.
Yeah, he is a pretty silly boy.
Yeah. Um, One thing that I really appreciated was that the movie seems to have a really good attention to detail in regard to some things that the audience might forget, but like the movie doesn't. Like, I like how there's real consequences for, like, I don't know, stuff like she has a rash from lactation because she had just given birth, and that's
Oh
something that she
yeah,
has to deal with.
I forgot
There's
about that
like,
scene. Yeah,
it's just stuff like that where, like, the audience might not even have thought about it, but you just add it in because that's logically what would happen.
yeah,
It was clearly very thoughtful about, little details like that.
Yeah. I just wish it was more thoughtful when applying those same details to the villains.
Yeah. That fucking pissed me
Like,
off.
I
Every
don't know.
man in the
I feel so
movie fucking sucks. Every
except
man.
Billy. Billy and
Yeah.
his like uncle.
All these white men are trash.
Yeah.
Complete trash. They just want to kill everything that moves.
Yeah.
It's
Just
really
zero
fucked
brains.
up.
They just want to fuck or kill.
Yeah. Literally, yeah.
That's like what all the British officers do in this movie. That's their whole character. Like, I want to fuck or kill. And then there's one character that's like, I don't want to fuck or kill as bad as much as the other guys. And then he like dies first, so it doesn't even matter.
Oh yeah, that's something I wanted to bring up too. There's that one guy that killed her baby because the lieutenant told him to kill the baby.
Yeah,
and
he
then
clearly didn't want to and felt a lot of regret for that.
Yeah, and he had way more empathy than the rest of them, and he kind of wasn't down with their sort of like rude, intense rhetoric for the entire movie. And then he's getting killed, and that was a really intense scene because in her eyes, he's the guy that, you know, killed her child, but he's sort of like, he's more than that. Like he's, it wasn't his idea, you know, he was just a lackey. He was like an assistant.
Just like, he was listening to orders.
He was just following orders.
I'm just like, following orders, sir.
It's still fucked up that he killed her baby, but like, I just love that scene because like, you can see where both characters are at, and if they just communicated
that was probably
about
like
it,
one of the most. That was one of the scenes that affected me most, just because like I really felt for both of them in that moment. Like I didn't want to see dude die, but I completely understand why he had to.
You can really understand where both of them are at. Like that's what I loved about that scene. But one thing that sucked about that scene is it looked really bad when they showed the shot of him getting hit with the rifle. They should have just not shown that. Like they tried to do like
show a lot of the violent scenes like directly because I don't think they have the budget to have good effects. Honestly.
Yeah, they should have just not shown it. It would have been a lot more intense. They try to add like a quick shot of him like getting all bloodied up with the rifle, and it just looked so bad. There's like some little things visually that I didn't like about the movie also. Like that, like the blood of him getting hit. And there's that one like, remember when we were talking about Machine Gun Kelly where I said like, I hate when there's like a room full of people and they show one guy and it feels like there's no one else in the room. There's one shot like that where like Claire's husband is fighting the lieutenant, and then there's this general guy who just shows up, and he's the only one in the shot, and he's just like, Lieutenant, I need to speak to you. And it looks like he's the only one on set. That like kind of bothered me.
They just pop out of nowhere as well.
Yeah, and it's like I wish they like, how easy would it have been just to have him like walk in with everyone else? I don't know. Maybe he wasn't available just have, or something.
Or at least have like one established shot of him, of that character in the first place.
Yeah, just show him there.
Yeah, like so you're not just like popping out of nowhere. You're like, who the fuck's this guy? What's going on?
Yeah, but it's just like little, I don't know, little moments that peeved me. One thing I thought was visually well done was the dream sequences.
Oh, I was just about to mention that. I thought those scenes were very, very well done as well.
Yeah, especially there's one in particular where she sees like her dead husband coming towards her, and then she sees like the black people hanging, and there's a lot of layers to it. And I thought that was really visually well done.
This movie wasn't a horror movie, but it really felt like a horror movie, you know?
Yeah. It seems more in line with stuff like I Spit on Your Grave, where it's not like a typical horror, but it's just like, I don't know, frightening. It's just frightening in terms of the content they're showing.
Yeah.
There's one other cool visual thing that I liked where she gets knocked out with the rifle at the beginning after the lieutenant like fucking destroys her whole family. And there's just like, there's this awesome visual thing where you see like a couple like in the corner of the screen and the rest of the screen is black, and they're just sort of dancing, and they're getting bigger as they move towards the center. And the lighting is really good. It's kind of like a David Lynch type visual that I really appreciated.
Anyone dancing in the dark is David Lynch.
Yeah.
If you're
But I
dancing
like
in the
that
dark,
about
you're
it.
probably David Lynch.
Yeah. Did you want to get into the end really quick?
Oh yeah. Um. So at the end of the movie, I don't know. I feel like the end was sort of anticlimactic in a way, but not in like a disappointing way. Like
Yeah.
Billy, the Aboriginal character, paints himself up in like white face paint and then just goes and murders the two British officers and gets wounded in the process.
Oh
And then
yeah, and that reminds me of
huh?
something else I wanted to bring up. Was like, actually no, you finish and then I'll say it.
Yeah. So then they have to like escape the city, right? Because they just murder two people. And they go to the beach and Billy's clearly dying from his wounds. But instead of just like sitting down, he starts dancing and cheering to the sky. And it's just like this really heartwarming moment and this really heartbreaking moment. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's like finding the beauty in the misery, I feel like is the point of this movie.
It kind of makes you feel like he died off screen, like after the
Yeah.
credits. That's what
Oh,
it gives you the
definitely.
feeling. It's kind of sad.
There's no way he's surviving that shit.
Yeah, but one thing
But like,
you just remind me of something I really liked about the movie also is
yeah,
that at the beginning Claire's character is super submissive and quiet around the lieutenant because he really scares her, and she's sort of this soft-spoken, polite lady. And then when after he leaves, after he kills her whole family, basically, real jerk. Uh,
what an asshole.
she becomes this like I don't know. She becomes this vengeful, strong character, like I was talking about before, and she becomes really vicious and trying to complete her goal. And then when she comes face to face with the lieutenant again, and she has him in clear shot, like she's pointing a gun at him, like as soon as she sees his face, she kind of reverts back to that more submissive, cowardly persona that she had. It's kind of like a really accurate portrayal of how sexual assault affects people in real life that I
Yeah,
really appreciated. And then she doesn't go
yeah,
through with killing him. She just kind of stands there and then she takes a shot in the arm and runs off. That's what I
yeah.
really loved. I loved that
And
moment.
like, and like her character climax moment wasn't like killing anyone. It was like her telling the lieutenant off in front of all his other peers and
Oh
just
yeah,
showing
that
them
was a
how
good moment
pathetic he
too.
was. And
Yeah,
like
that was
that
a
was
good
her
moment
like
too.
final moment of growth is like I'm stronger than you. Like I don't even have to kill you. I can just show you how pathetic you are and move on.
Yeah, and then Billy fucking kills him, which is
Yeah.
cool also.
I mean they both needed their character climaxes, right? If you murder my whole race, I get to kill you, and if you rape me, I get to be stronger than you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, don't
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
friend in the wood chipper there.
Oh yeah. So, do you have any more thoughts?
No, I think I said everything I want to say pretty much.
Yeah.
It's
All
a
right.
pretty
Let's
good
get the
movie.
ratings.
I would probably just give it a 6
Yeah, I'm
because
giving it
like
a 7.
yeah, because like I don't know, it would be a 7 for me if I didn't. I don't know, like just the way they handled the villains really took a couple points off for me. That made me take the movie a little less seriously.
Yeah, that's like literally where all the points are taken off for me. Honestly, I thought
Yeah,
everything else was pretty well done.
but yeah, it's pretty good. I don't regret watching it. I just don't think I'm going to revisit it anytime soon.
Yeah, it's not exactly a fun watch.
Yeah.
All right, so do you have some recommendations for me?
Okay, so my album for you to listen to is Calculating Infinity by the Dillinger Escape Plan.
Yes.
And that's going to be really fun. And a movie that's equally heavy as the album is Dead Ringers by David Cronenberg.
Okay.
So that should be a really
it's gonna
fun
be a
week.
heavy week. You say.
Very heavy. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, and if you guys want to listen along and watch along with
Want
us,
to listen to an album and to watch a movie and you can be a part of the discussion?
yep, he said the movie thing, and that's it. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks for listening, and fuck you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, fuck you. Bye-bye.
Fuck you.